friends, Sherry. I'm back with a midsummer garden update tour for you. So let's take a look and see what's going well in my garden, what isn't, what I won't do again, what I'll probably do again, and some big changes coming to my garden space. And look at my floppy hat. It's flopping. Only one side. Kind of like a dog with one ear that flops. All right, behind me, you can see my Japanese maple doing well still. The thing I didn't do this year, let me get my camera turned around. I didn't plant under my Japanese maple. No particular reason, I just never did. And also plants were in short supply because of COVID-19. We really didn't have as easily accessible shade plants and things that I usually like to use. There were some, but I don't know, nothing just really hit me. So let me show you. Okay, so here is my walkway. Don't mind my tangled mess of my watering can and my hose back there. So this hosta, and I can't remember the name of this one, sorry. It's been flowering, and I did go along underneath of him and clean up the bottom really well. I like my hosta to have sort of a vase shape, which means keeping the lower leaves off of the ground, and that also keeps the plant healthier because you're not getting the slugs and things that are attracted to the rotting material that sits on the ground. So this one is a little bit dirty, needs a little bath, so probably should have given him that before I showed you, but that's okay. This is the Japanese maple, which I did not underplant this year, but I did top dress him with some compost, so he's real happy. This little section of hosta, I don't know what I'm going to do here next year. It is total full shade. Total full shade. It does not get any sun at all, and as you can see, it just isn't doing real well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here next year, but I think there's going to be some changes. Oh, some good brown material for my composter. We can just put that right there. Oscar will enjoy that. This is the Aaron's beard that is underneath the white birch. My roses have just been blooming. They need to be cleaned up. I never did get into this flower bed as I planned on to pull out the ground cover and plant with flowers. Probably what I'll do is get to it and then plant some fall bulbs, which I already have some in here, but I want more. That way in the fall we get all our pretty tulips and daffodils and grape hyacinth and all of that good stuff. So let me just pan around this particular area. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, used to be a rose garden and I took that out a couple of years ago. Yeah, I took the roses out for various reasons, and last year I did all these with the exception of the big wheelbarrow in the back. He was in the backyard and my fountain was right there. I did flowers. And they were really pretty and they did really well, but I wanted to try vegetables out here just out of curiosity. Now don't worry, in the spring I'm going to plant my pansies again. So when I do that, there'll be pansies, maybe not in all the pots, I'm not 100% sure. Pansies put in the fall, and then in the spring they just blow up and they look gorgeous. So you can see that in my spring tour video. Oh, let's take a look at what's doing pretty good. These are red onions. And I pulled a little one out the other day. See, there's just some little weeds in here, but not bad. Again, top dressed with compost. This compost was purchased. It is Boost, and I got it out at Chalfont Big Trees. It's a really nice compost. Everything is very, very happy. I've put the compost on it. I can tell you I've seen drastic improvements within just a couple of weeks. Oh, and look at there. See, you can see the little red there. Yep. So these guys are just going to stay in here. Oh, I'll probably leave them as long as weather permits or until I need to. They'll stay here till the fall anyway. I just want to let them get bigger. I pulled one the other day and it was little teeny tiny red onion, but you know what? It was really super good. I seem to be getting the most zucchini squash from this particular barrel. I've got 1, There's another one there. However, it is very hot here. It gets the afternoon sun. Our temperatures have been reaching 100, a couple of times over 100. Right now it's 78 degrees and it's not even 9 o'clock yet. The water will probably, my micro watering system should go off here at 9 o'clock. These particular, I've got a mix of yellow crookneck squash and zucchini, and they were all just seeds that I had, so they're kind of intermixed. I never know what I'm going to get, but didn't do too good. It's just too hot. And look at my cucumbers. See, I'm getting some. Got one there. Again, the tomatoes. This is that's a beefsteak. Okay, and I do have one tomato on here. So he's not real big, but I do have a tomato. This particular tomato plant is yellow brandywine. Not flowering again, too hot. I think, it'll set flowers once in a while, but very rarely do they set fruit. So my theory is, and they get lots of water. They look all dry right now because the water hasn't ran. And I also supplement water them too. And the compost helps to keep in the moisture. But it's just too hot. I'm not going to do vegetables here next year, except maybe zucchini in there because it is doing well. This is not a good way to grow cucumbers. But again, I just had seeds and put them together. Cucumber on it here. And another little cucumber here. They're kind of funny shaped. It's because of the pollination isn't complete, so that's why they're not a straight cucumber. Again, big, healthy sucker of a tomato plant, but no fruit. I'm out at night to see if I've got something eating it. Can't find anything. And my theory is it's just too hot. So I've got a couple flowers here. See, the plants are healthy. There's no blight, nothing. They look good. I think when our temperatures start to get a little bit lower, I might get some fruit set. Then I don't think I will. Peppers are doing great. Peppers love the heat. So my planting area next year is going to be so different. You'll see that in a little bit. This is a Brussels sprout. It's a cool season vegetable, but I found it and I popped it in here. Something is eating the leaves, however. But look at these beautiful yellow banana peppers. Oh, yeah, there goes the water. Now those are nice. Whoa, I just got shot with water. And I just checked my micro watering system in the back where I have some pots. It just ran a little bit ago. And it's nice to keep an eye on them because a lot of times you have to adjust the water just depending upon the pressure. This one looks pretty good. Garlic. So that garlic will probably just stay there. Typically you'd put it in September and harvest it in probably first week of July. This one looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn the water off because they don't need that much. What I'll do is turn this one off and just run it a couple of days a week. This little truck bed, it's an old trailer bed. You've probably seen it if you've seen my videos. And I don't know why I did this. I put my veggies in the front there, which makes it real hard for me to reach. And I put the flowers and perennials back here. Don't know what I was thinking, except that the wind was howling that day. So my brain probably wasn't working correctly. I don't know what this is, but I keep getting this grass. I don't stay on top of it every day. It gets away from me. But anyway, my tomato over there is doing well. Again, not much of any fruit set. Everybody's looking pretty good. And it's funny, the little guy that I thought wasn't gonna make it has little, but you know what? Look at there, there's a little cricket or grasshopper. So that's probably what's getting things, guys. It's the grasshoppers. I've had that happen before. But this little guy, he's a Roma tomato. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but it's already setting fruit. I've got tomato over there, and all these are mixed in with my perennials. I've got coreopsis and chilia, is that how you say it? Salvia, lavender, another little tomato I popped in here. And don't mind my weeds. This bed needs to be weeded, so it's time. Little volunteer sunflower coming up right over there. But I'm gonna get these weeds pulled. Let me go around to the front, show you what else is going on. If I just get this weeded today, I'll be happy. There's some of my beautiful eggplant. I harvested 2 yesterday. These are Japanese eggplant. They're called Millionaire, and they're doing really well, but I need taller stakes. So I've got to stake them up so they don't tip over on me. Artichokes are doing really well. My artichoke plants. Again, need to do some deadheading of my coreopsis. And that is a very sad sounding rooster. Little volunteer sunflower. This is the front view of my, little garden bed here. This is purple cabbage. Doing well. Again, I'm keeping the lower leaves picked and off of the ground. Burrs are not doing very good. And you know what's the bummer about that? Is these are the poblanos. I was late finding them. You get a lot of sun here, and peppers like the sun, so I'm not sure why they're not doing really great. This little guy, he's got a couple little flowers on him. So he might pepper for me. And there's some sedum underneath the guara. So I'm going to get these weeds picked, guys, and I'll see you in my backyard in a little while. Friends, thanks for coming back. Made a couple of changes since I talked to you a few minutes ago. I took the liberty to pull these cucumbers out. They're not healthy. They're not shaped well. They're just not, I don't know. They were actually, to be honest with you, they were seeds I've had for a long time. Maybe the seeds weren't even that great. So I pulled those out. Don't think I can put them into Oscar the composter just yet because he's pretty full. So I do have a bucket of greens going, and I'll just pop those in the greens, and when I can, I'll get it into compost. Look at this pretty little. Are these the banana peppers too? Don't remember. Let me pull my tag. Sweet banana. Okay, so both of these are sweet banana. These are just a little smaller. See those little guys? Aren't they cute? Okay, so I wanted to update you on that. Pulled the cucumbers out. I'll leave the squash for now. Don't know what I'll put in here, if anything, just yet. I've got some seeds coming that I'm going to sow for some winter cool season vegetables, so perhaps maybe something will go there, but we'll just leave it as is for now. But I'll clean all that up and put it away. All right, I thought I'd come over and show you what I got done here. I'm getting hungry. It's now almost 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna go make us some sausage breakfast burritos. But I got the weeds, the grass pulled out of here. As good as I'm gonna get for today. It's getting hot. Put some stakes in for my eggplant because they were getting the stakes, they'd outgrown the stake they put there when they were little. But everything looks pretty good. I am seeing a lot of grasshoppers. They do a lot of damage. I think that might be some of my leaf damage, but I'll keep an eye on it. We've had problems with grasshoppers in years past, but as you can see, the marigolds are all doing really well. Coreopsis, that one's struggling a little bit. I don't know what's wrong with it. It could have a disease. I don't know. I'll just watch it. But luckily the fruit is all very healthy. We just need it to cool down a little so it sets. These little guys, which are autumn sage, which is a salvia, they're little, but they're doing okay. I've got this one here too. But they are perennial, so we'll leave them. You know, perennials, first year they sleep, second year they creep, and the third year they leap. So I have a feeling this truck bed next summer is going to be filled with marigolds and coreopsis because there's a lot of seed heads there. Oops, I'm missing. I broke a whole bunch of marigold flowers off, cleaning them up. But anyway, I think it looks better. At least it's weed free for today. I'm not going to get to the rest of the garden here weeding it today as it's too hot. I will eat breakfast and move to the back. Welcome back, friends. We are continuing on with my midsummer garden update. There's going to be a lot of changes and you'll see a lot of improvements. I've learned a lot this year about compost. I'm still learning, binge watching videos left and right. Some of this you will remember probably from the previous video. I showed you my hosta, but I think since then I've gone in and cleaned some up a little bit. Like I was telling you out front, I like to make it look like a vase. So if I back up, you can see it's sort of got that shape to it, which keeps the lower leaves off the ground. It keeps it cleaner and healthier. So I do have the names of these hosta, but not in front of me. So that one Max stepped all over the other day, so kind of squished it down. He was barking at something. And a little grass growing under there. I had a bird feeder. Now it's just a hummingbird feeder, so I shouldn't have that problem. Once I get that grass out, we had a feeder there for a little bit. And I was trying to decide if I was going to add more hosta and just make this a hosta garden, or if I wanted some color. And I think, although I still may add some more hosta, I don't think I will this year because there's really just not that much available in our area. But I think in the fall, as our garden centers start to get pansies, I think I'm going to start putting some pansies in here. It's a little too hot yet, but come 1st of September, I think I'm going to have to just let them be like this for August. Unless I get a wild hair and find some hosta, I can still pop in some pansies if I do that. But I'm still a little unsure at this point. I don't know if you remember, I think I showed you that I planted, it's a week today. I know it's probably way off season, but I was just curious and I wanted to try it. I just put a few seeds each of butternut squash and Hubbard squash. And you can see right here, I've got a little butternut squash coming up. So we may, I mean, typically I would sow that in the spring, but what the heck, you know, that's what gardens are about. Experimenting, trying new things, seeding on some, failing on others. I wanted to show you the update on, this is the butterfly garden, bee and butterfly garden. I've got my little bee and butterfly baths there. The water does leak, go out of those real quick. Everything's pretty quiet over here right now. That coreopsis still has some blooms. It looks like I got a deadhead a few, but I've been in here cleaning it up. The corabells look good. You know, I have a volunteer. Max, what are you gonna do for our friends? Huh? I thought this was first I thought it was a sunflower. So I was just gonna leave it, but now looking at it a little closer, now that I've had the time, I don't think it's a sunflower, so bye-bye. Out he goes. He's gone. So the bee and butterfly garden, I cut the butterfly bush way back and it's looking better. It's also gotten a nice top dressing of really nice compost that has helped a lot of other things. You can see maybe right, if I can get it in the camera, right there, another bud. So it looks like maybe this purple salvia is going to give us another bloom cycle, which is really neat. Not sure if the corabells will, but they are doing well. Grapes are doing good. Let's see if we can see. Oh, look at there. See, starting to ripen, but they've got a ways to go. I started out with green and purple grapes in here, but almost 100% positive all I have now is red. An old raised bed we put in Oh my gosh. I think we probably put this in about 13 or 14 years ago, and it worked great for the first few years, but that was before my ash tree got so big. And yes, we do need to have it. We're gonna have this tree cut way back, and my front white birch needs to be really cleaned up too, but don't mind the toilet. That used to be a planter with flowers, but I discarded it from the garden. This became really unusable as a raised bed, especially for vegetables, because it's just too much shade. And you can see this grass we seeded right here, and it's doing better than it did last year, because we put the seed in too late last year, but it's so shady, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't a full shade mix. We might get some just straight shade seed, throw it on some of these bare spots and see how that does. We haven't been walking on it, but we just today put our clothesline back up. So we'll just very carefully, when I try, if I have to maneuver around here, I try, like, do you like how I'm using this as a pointer? It's very gardenish, isn't it? It's a very gardening thing to do. So I try to just stay on the borders and not step on it, but this is coming in, doing well. It's had some issues. It's our sod that our neighbors got some sod and had some extra leftovers, so we got it. So yeah, we had a little mishap over there. We won't go into what happened there, but it's filling back in. Somebody mowed it a little too short, but we won't mention any names. And some of this is probably spots where Max peed and I didn't catch it when it was real tender. And it'll do better next year. And it'd probably do real good in the fall when it cools down, because we're running about 100 degrees right now, so that's pretty hot. So we're going to be going into another section of my yard. I'll show you an update, and I'll show you where my new garden's going to be. Okay, so this is the start of the video, the start in the video of where we are beginning to level this grass area. As you can see, it's got a slight slope down. We've already had that border there, which is going to work nicely, but we're going to be leveling this as best we can, and we're going to be starting my first official no-dig garden bed here. And it's going to be the perfect garden spot. Most of it won't really be up and running till next season, till the spring, but I think I'll be able to do some fall cool crop vegetables in here. And here comes another load of dirt, so I'll check back. You may remember this area from where we left off earlier in my backyard. This was that old raised bed we built years ago that's too shady to do much of anything with. So we've taken that down and we've repurposed the dirt. So this will probably end up being maybe some pea gravel, and we'll make a little sitting area. We're not quite sure, but it's under a nice our big pretty ash tree, so lots of shade. So anyway, that was done. Okay, we're back. My shady, semi-shady backyard. Just gave everything a nice little drink. We are extremely hot. Let's see, what are we still? We're 100 degrees right now, and it's 4:20 and we're 100 degrees. So excuse me, just gave everybody a nice drink of water. Just the pots really like that, especially when it's so hot. A couple of these, this little pot of impatiens and this pot, I'm sure this one was out front too. They just weren't doing that good. And I don't know, this one, I don't know what's wrong with that one. But they're back here in the nursery because they're shaded. They get tended to, they get more water. I put these guys in today earlier. It's called Hot and Spicy Oregano. I just wanted to use them for ground cover. They are on the drip system. Put 5 in. And I'm gonna leave them undisturbed this winter, and I'm hoping maybe they'll come back. So let's take a look over here. This is another impatient. Looks like we're getting ready to have another round of blooms. So, yep, list flowers in pots, random annuals and impatiens. The hanging pots are still hanging in there. That one's got more purple. This one doesn't have too much purple, just a little bit, but predominantly yellow now. Moaning Myrtle is doing really well, and she's happy to have some oregano underneath her. As you can see, the coleus just loves it right here. Probably should have shot it from the other side. Let me get out from the bright sunshine. Squash is doing well. I'm getting some little yellow squashes, as you can see in there. 3 or 4 going right now. Seems as though most of my zucchini ended up out front and my yellow crookneck back here. So get you in a better shot. Yeah, this coleus is really, really happy, and I've already cut some back because I propagated some. So hopefully I'll have even more. Loves it right here. Gets morning sun and afternoon shade, so it tolerates that spot very well. Again, they're all, except for these little guys, are on drip system. There's Oscar. You recently met Oscar. He's full. He's happy. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any more in him now. I'm just going to keep turning it every day over the course of the next several weeks and see how long it takes for us to get some soil, some compost. This just was lettuce, but I took that out. These little pellets they're just little equine pine pellets, and you put them in your composter. They act as a brown, so if you find you've got too much green, be your yard waste, your coffee grounds, things like that, anything green, and you need to balance out your nitrogen and your carbon, you pop in a few of your little pine pellets, and it really, really helps. So that's a little tip I learned on a video. So what we're doing here, wow, look at the sky, you guys. Looks like we might get some rain. It said we might, but boy, it's going to be humid if it does at 100 degrees. Let's see, what do we got going over here? Look at these gorgeous, this guy is just popping. My little yellow pear tomatoes. I've got 1, 2, 3. I could pick and eat right now. In fact, I probably will eat them with dinner. Cucumbers, again, meh. These ones might be a little better than out front, so I'm going to give them a little bit more time. These are just some tiny little jalapenos I started from seed, and they're still real small, but they're one of them, this guy's got a flower on it, so, and this one has the start of a flower, so we'll just see what they do. Again, my Swiss chard is cut way back from the last time I harvested it, and it's still kind of slow growing back. And then my 2 bell peppers and 2 more jalapenos. They're doing really well. The leaves are nice and healthy. Bell peppers are growing on there. I've got some jalapenos started. Where is that? Is it toward the back? Yep. There's some jalapenos. This is a red bell, and this is going to be a golden bell. And then the big project is, I'll insert a picture, whoops, of what this looked like before we started. I've showed it to you before. It was grass that sloped down forever, as long as we've lived here. I remember even my mom and my sister, I think, many years ago, Mom decided she wanted to turn this grassy patch into a garden. I think she and my sister tried to dig out the grass and finally gave up and said, no, it's just too much work. It's not going to work. So we've just kept it grass over the years, but I've always wanted to put my vegetable garden here. It's the east side, full morning sun, afternoon shade. Couldn't be more perfect. I've got the fence that I can put anything that needs it, whether it be indeterminate tomatoes that are going to get tall, maybe some more tomatillo. Again, this guy, he's got lots of flowers, but I'm not really setting any fruit. There might be Nope. And the bees are still pollinating, but I think it's just the heat. It's a healthy tomatillo. Tons of flowers. I don't know. No fruit yet. It's the heat. I swear, it's the heat. So anyway, we have brought over the dirt from the other flower bed, raised bed, and we're leveling that out. And what we're going to do here, it's a no-dig method. I've linked Charles Dowding's channel in my previous video, and I'll link it again because he's really the godfather of no-dig. You don't disturb the soil, you don't dig up the grass, you basically... We only had to bring the dirt in because we had to level it. If this was level, I wouldn't have had to do this. And it's still going to have a slight slope, but I can live with that. And what I'm going to do is my beds are going to run this way. So starting over here, I'll probably have a 4-foot maybe garden bed, and it'll be all garden soil and compost. It'll be probably maybe 2 to 3 feet tall, so it should come right up to about the top of that piece of wood back there, but it will compact too, so I'm gonna have to play around with it. But anyway, we're not digging in the soil, we're not disturbing anything. All we're gonna be planting in is beautiful garden rich soil and really nice compost. This year, it's only going to be some cool season vegetables. We probably won't get anything planted in here until September, but that's perfect because we're going to put cardboard down. The whole thing's going to be covered in cardboard. I'm still going to have to fight the grass right along the edges for quite a while, but the grass will die, you guys. Everything's life cycle will come to an end. You know, you can get rid of it. You might have to deal with some grass popping up here and popping up there, but we're going to put cardboard down. Our planting medium soil compost is going to go on that. We're going to make our rows. I'm going to have a walking path in between. So mapping it out earlier today, I think I'll probably end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 all the way down, and then little paths that go there. So this is the start, guys. This is the no-dig, first no-dig garden I've ever done, meaning not digging up the soil, not digging up the grass. We're simply going to smother it, and then once we get our beds situated, then we'll run our drip lines. We'll put in drip systems like this so that it will all be watered on a drip system, and that also will help it from the water from running down what is still going to be a slight little slope, but not anything compared to what it was. So it's been a long day. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm hungry, I'm stinky, and I'm going to get my cardboard down, throw those bricks on it so it doesn't blow away. But I want to cardboard the edges mainly because right there you can see, you know, we didn't cover the grass that much there because that's the highest point. So I'm going to get my cardboard down. I'm going to keep these euonymus, these boxwoods here. They were my mom's, so I want to keep them here. They do need some shaping up, so when we get the garden all set, we'll let everything set through the month of August. Let the compost and the soil and everything just really get a chance to come together, and then we'll do some planting in here in September. So that's probably when I'll come back again. Maybe I'll do a video as we're setting this up, but I probably won't do another garden tour video until we get into fall, and that'll be a fall garden tour. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up, leaving me a comment. Let me know if you've done any no-dig. Do you want to do no-dig? If you don't know what no-dig is, find Charles Dowding on YouTube. I'll link his channel below. Again, I linked it in my last video, I believe, so you can easily find him. He's full of fabulous information, and I'm hoping to make him proud. So you guys take care, stay safe. I love you all, and I'll see you in my next video.